And then one day, this one of the owner servers, she came up to me and asked me to take drinks out to the table. In those huge Coca-Cola goblets, 4 of them full. My first table I've ever went up to in my life. Just dropped all of them on all of them. She pulled me from my fucking shirt back to the server alley, and she's like, "Stay here." Oh man, yeah. Look at me now.
Hello and welcome to Whipped Cream Salmon. I'm your boy, Brian Bastanza, joined as always with my co-host, Ronnie Sanchez. And today we're joined by a very special guest, former sous chef, pastry chef, executive chef, former captain of the Lady Slipper, by far the most well-endowed person I know, and a great friend of mine, Mike Garcia. How the hell are you?
I'm doing good, guys. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
What is the name of this again?
What do you mean?
He's playing coy. He's playing coy. He knows.
I didn't know until I seen it right now.
You dragged me on that shit.
That's funny.
It's great to have you on. You're at the top of the list of people that we wanted to have on, and we haven't had a ton of guests. And yeah, just stoked to have you here for sure. We have a fun pod lined up for today. We're gonna talk to Mike about kind of what stuff that he's got going on. We're gonna drink some beers as always, and then we are gonna draft best sandwiches in the world. Let's fucking do it. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention: this is the podcast where we talk about all things food, friends, and fuckery.
Let's go.
Let's fuck, boys.
Mike was just telling us a little bit about what he's been up to, playing a little catch up. Mike and I haven't talked to each other in a number of years. It's about, I think, for at least 4 or 5 years at this point. And hadn't seen you since rolling around in the Squaw Village. A little unknown or a little secret about Mike is I used to be out shoveling my driveway and he'd come cruising through the neighborhood with the boys from the Rocker and taking a little safety meeting around the block.
Yeah.
I might get my little safety meeting on right now, dude. I usually don't smoke on the pod, but no free ads. But got this fucking keychain right here. It's a vape pen. Super dope.
Look at that.
Let's go. I went right into a concert on New Year's. Yeah.
It's like a key fob.
Key fob.
You just push a button and it's a different thing.
Oh, go. You get a little preheat going on. And deluxe your car. Really good.
And now his mom doesn't know what he's up to.
Get out of my room, Mom. While I'm vacuuming my room. Get out of here.
Well, I've got a fat tire. But I also have a little something special here for the boys. I figured since we got all the homies here. I got a little bottle of Fernet here.
Oh, Fernet about it. Holy shit.
Usually I always follow that with one of these.
Okay. Mike's got a bottle of Don Julio.
But I'm an alcoholic, so I drink both. And usually just sip a beer the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
figure
it's a special occasion.
I got a Dunkel.
Dunkel.
Dunkel. What is this?
Dark lager. Never had it.
Dark lager.
Got me a little bit.
It's like German stuff.
Yeah, not really my jam. Mike, what are you drinking over there?
I'm drinking Dos Equis. We just found it in town. No one had it forever.
Oh, nice.
Oh, just something different. And we'll take a shot here with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Party on.
Party on.
So,
Mike, what have you been up to? What were you talking about?
I've been cooking a lot. Been working for a private golf course in Truckee.
Mm-hmm.
It's been one hell of a ride working there. It's over some 45 golf tournaments every summer.
Whew.
With a staff of like 8. It
Wow.
opened 7 days a week and open 10 hours a day. So
Weddings and everything
try to
too?
figure
Or?
that one out. Weddings, buyouts, private tournaments, you name it. We did it. But a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of fun times there. Played a lot of golf. Kind of got into golf lately, and
There you go.
went
They
out to
let you play there?
Roseville yesterday. Yeah, we played there all the time. Went out to Roseville yesterday. First time playing top golf
Oh, nice.
Okay.
with the lady, and that was pretty cool.
How's she? How's her game?
Yeah, she's starting to play. I did get her a sick cheetah bag for Christmas though. So I told her if she's not going to be good, she needs to look good at least. So she's down with that.
She had a nice collared shirt that she wears, and
Yeah, that's
khakis. Is that the attire right now?
just the shirt.
Yeah.
You can wear anything. People wear anything anywhere now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
They've definitely like kind of pulled back the I don't know what you want to call it, but loosened up on the
yeah,
attire. I mean, certain country clubs obviously they're still going to have strict rules, but a lot of people are just out there in like a t-shirt and shorts or whatever.
yeah.
Didn't used to be the case, but
You can't be so stuffy. You're going to lose all the kids.
that's
You're
right.
going to get the kids in the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, do it for the kids.
That's a big thing. Do it for the kids.
My buddy Mark Vaccaro always goes golfing. Like it's like the $10 South Lake golf course, and he always goes barefoot. He's like, I'm not wearing shoes for this.
There's a lot of people that do that. It cracks me.
I don't really get it, honestly. I'm like, I don't know. I swing better with no shoes on. But
Yeah, that's wild.
her thing, the kids are doing that. Is that what they call it?
Everything?
Skibbity?
There are
Ooh,
like
don't start that.
there's like special like spikes you can buy that like you screw into like any shoe, and I've seen people screw them into like flip flops, and so they have like the spikes on the bottom of their
the Tevas.
That's fire.
Yeah,
Spiky Tevas.
That's fire.
That's the way to go. I don't know if I do the barefoot thing.
I've done it. I'll dabble a little bit, but yeah, I'm not sure that it's for me. I'll break an ankle out there,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my little
Be
deer
injured for the
ankles
year.
over here. Yeah, that won't work.
Brian, you been cooking anything recently?
No. Yes.
No.
Probably.
Eating anything?
I don't even know if I've done that. I had some pho yesterday. That was pretty good. No, I don't know. Nothing really. I pulled out some mole. I pulled out some mole from the freezer, so that's on the menu for tomorrow.
What do you mean you pulled out the mole from the freezer? You pulled out a sauce you made already?
Yeah, no, actually, for Christmas, I made like a black mole, Rick Bayless recipe, really fire. And I had a quart sitting in the freezer that I pulled out with some chicken that I pulled out as well.
Those Italian Mexican roots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually never did it, or I never really made like a toasted mole like that, like a black mole with like
peanut butter in it.
No peanut butter.
No peanut butter.
No peanut butter. The chilies, I mean, bread, tortillas, raisins, nuts,
chilies and shit.
Yeah, chocolate, all the things. Chicken stock, fresh chicken stock.
Oh, you really made this?
Yeah. And I mean,
it's nice when you're like don't cook for a living.
Totally.
And you get down cooking when you're at home.
Totally. I mean, like I'm on a program right now where I break down at least one chicken, if not 2 chickens a week, and like make chicken stock with that, and then like brine it and freeze stuff, and like I'm like always have like kind of a rotation going of I like always have brine in the fridge and freezer. I like always have chicken stock going, or in some capacity. So you're right. It is like when it's a hobby, it makes it a lot easier. At the same time, it's like, oh, like it's one of the things that I it's like I keep coming back to. I still like really enjoy it, and like I don't know, to not do it for a living, it's like, oh man, like maybe I took it for granted when I was in there a little bit, you know, or like got jaded. I'm sure that that would happen
That's what
again if
cooks
I got
do.
back in. Yeah,
Jaded for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in my time away from the kitchen, I've definitely I got way more into cooking at home. You know, I've talked a lot about like my patio setup, and I've got, you know, a smoker and 2 burner out there, and I got a yakitori grill out there now, and so it's like it's all growing. Since being back in the kitchen, I have been cooking less, but my schedule still allows me to cook at night and in the evenings and weekends and stuff. But yeah, when you're away from it, and it's not something that you're like forced to do every single day, you definitely like, I mean, that was where like I found my peace, you know, away from, I was working at Pepsi for a long time. Just like in the in between, I was, you know, there was no love for that job. It was just, you know, go to work every day and punch the clock and get home. But yeah, I found myself still every single day. It was like, what am I going to cook for dinner? What am I going to cook this weekend? What kind of project am I going to do? And that's kind of what made the transition back into the kitchen a little easier, because I was like, well, at least I'm doing what I love to do. If I'm not cooking when I'm at work, or if I'm cooking when I'm not at work, then, you know, because I enjoy it, at least, you know, I know that that's what I truly love to do. You know, even though it's, when you're doing it all the time, sometimes it's hard to love it, but it's kind of love-hate relationship. Like I love it, it hates me. It kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah. But I always say that like the people are the best, right? Like I like
the relationships.
All my favorite people are like from kitchens, and like
few servers, but mostly back of the house.
100%.
But yeah, maybe like I don't have one manager that I really ever loved though. Like I get far more in line with like even a dishwasher and a cook than with like management.
I mean, shout out James. Shout out James Dent.
Yeah, shout out James Dent.
Our boy. He's a manager.
He's one of the first guys I met up here, and he was a pastry chef. So he made the switch, you know?
James is a pastry chef, really?
Yeah, well he worked.
We should get him on the pod. That'd be fun.
Pastries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't understand them, but you probably should get him on.
Put up subtitles.
Yeah, for the audience, he's like English from like it's.
No, but yeah, don't James Dent.
Shout out.
But you're right. Like the people you meet in the kitchen. I mean, I was just saying this a couple of days ago. In the like 3 years or whatever that I was at Pepsi, like I didn't really make any friends there. Like I had a couple people there that I was like friendly with. Well, I think one guy, like we went to a hockey game together one night, you know, and like that was it. Like when Brian and we went to Thailand for 2 weeks, came back to work. Fucking hardly nobody even asked me how the trip was. You know, I was like, I was gone for 2 weeks. You guys really don't give a shit about me.
And like did something really cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And it was like a huge, you know, like a moment in my life. And then nobody even asked anything. I've been at this restaurant for like 3 months now. And I've been to, you know, my coworker's house several times. He's been over a few times. Like, you know, like we're boys already. So it's
that's a good point.
it's
Restaurant
just real people. I mean, you're
exactly real people.
You can like drop your guard when you're in the kitchen, especially the back of that, like especially in restaurants in general, but in the back of the house in particular, you can put your guard.
It's one of the last spots you can do that in a workplace.
Yeah, because in the office, like people are rightfully guarded. You know, they don't want to like do something that like is going to get them called up to HR. Whereas like we were HR in the kitchen, and you know, and we were the worst of them. So
HR's closed on the weekends. You know, it's closed after 4:30 usually, so that shit don't count.
Exactly.
That's how it's been everywhere I've worked. I don't know if that was my thinking.
Yeah, and you're intentionally pushing the limits with the guy that you're working next to see how much you can get away with.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to make the night fun, right?
Absolutely.
Somehow.
You got to laugh, not to cry.
Yeah, I had a cook cry on me the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, right before I left.
You made him cry, or?
Yeah, he was pretty weeded out, and he was on the edge of quitting and crying. Well, he was crying already, so he was on the edge of quitting.
Okay.
And then I turned around and he had said, "I'm tired of this shit." And I looked at him. Oh, I heard him first. I heard him like sobbing, like, and I like looked at him and I was like, "What? What are you crying for?"
There's no crying.
It was
in
a
baseball.
really weird moment because I was like, "What are you doing this right now?" You know, and he turned around and goes, "I'm crying. I'll be fine." And then he finished shift and he came up to me afterwards and he had said,
Like, don't ever tell anybody you did that.
"No," he goes, "I just want you to know I was crying." And I was like,
Oh, he doubled down.
yeah, he doubled down on the crying. But he's like 34 years old and he's crying. So I don't know. I don't know. Crazy moment. One of the first time that's ever happened to me.
He was weeded bad, or like more worse than normal.
No, he wasn't
good
even
cook?
bad. He had 4 tickets and 5 items on each one, and was just doing a piece of the plate, like.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what people have going on in their
But
lives.
you don't. I mean, that's true too. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Never do you know.
I try to reserve my crying for the walk-in. So
Yeah. I mean, I
close
don't
the
know.
door, stand in front of the door.
I get super drunk to start crying. I'm Mexican. That's what we do. The only time my dad told, I shouldn't say this. The only time my dad told me he loved me when he was super wasted, But now he does all the time. He does it all the time now because we're adults, but
He gets wasted all the time, or?
He used to get drunk, dude, and like pull me in the headlock and I love you. That shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny.
That's hilarious. Should we get into the draft?
Let's get into the draft.
Are we ready? So
I got some good ones here.
You got some good ones? I got some bangers.
I thought about it for a minute. I mean, look at me. I've had a bunch of sandwiches, so I'm ready for this draft. I
put together a little board that I'm pretty happy with. I could go in a bunch of different directions depending on how it's going. We don't really have rules. I mean, I kind of said to the boys earlier, probably stick away from like a random sandwich that you just threw together, even though those are some of the best sandwiches, but kind of like talk about sandwiches that like are somewhat known. That's kind of the only rule I have. We're going to do 4 rounds snake draft. And we're going to we'll randomly generate a number. We'll pick numbers, and then that will determine, you can choose, right? Like winner, closest number can choose if you want to go first, second, or third. Third obviously picks third and
let's
fourth.
Just do it because I'm confused already.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Here, let me share my screen.
Okay.
We're just going to all say numbers at the same time?
Right
no, I mean, we got 1 to 100, so the chances of us picking the same number is 1 in 100. You know what I mean? So,
say it now?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
10.
10. Yeah, I got 34.
All right, I'll take 44.
That's a fucking jerk move. You get everything over 44? All right, whatever. You could have picked 35. That would have been a good move. Ronnie picks first.
Let's go.
I pick second. Mike picks third.
Okay.
Real nice show here. Guest picks third.
Should have picked a higher number.
Ronnie, you want 1-1, or are you thinking you want 3-4, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll take 1-1.
You take 1-1?
Yeah.
I'll get the spreadsheet out. Nice.
Yeah, we're doing it, dude.
For my first pick.
Hold on. I'm gonna pick third. I'm gonna let Mike take second.
Okay.
Oh, you're always too nice to me.
Well, I'm gonna get 3-4.
It kind of screws you though, because
yeah.
Brian gets double picks now.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna need it.
Mikey in the middle.
I didn't want 1-1. I was like, that's too much pressure, honestly. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention. Do we have to discuss what constitutes a sandwich?
No,
no. I mean, I think we have that discussion if you say something dumb
Okay.
yeah.
I have one on my board that's
or out loud.
might be questioned, but I'm going to
If it
throw it out
started with
there
a B,
probably at some
if it
point.
started with a B, you better not say it.
I got one that starts with a B. So it might. We'll see where this goes.
You own one bologna and cheese? That's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah. Dude, fried bologna.
Fire.
You ever had smoked bologna? You get that whole piece and you smoke it.
Is it good? Is it worth all the time and effort that it takes? I've seen it on.
I think you go slice it.
Uh-huh.
And then you do some kind of slow smoke off the side kind of thing with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get the bitterness of the smoke, but you get the smoke. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe make it raw. I don't know.
It looks good. I get a lot of those videos in my feed. I told you I got the smoker on the patio for a while.
Yeah.
Everything in my feed was just smoked meats. And I see a lot of people smoking whole bologna logs. And it does look good, but then I'm wondering, like, it takes you like 6 hours to smoke this fucking thing, and and at the end of the day, it's still bologna. So,
yeah. Do mortadella then if you feel like you need to be fancy.
So good.
All right, were we ready?
I'm ready for anything, Ronnie. Send it.
All right, and the first pick of the 2025 sandwich draft.
Whipped cream salmon edition.
Your noodle boy selects the fried chicken sandwich.
Fried chicken sandwich.
Nice.
The crowd goes crazy.
Anything specific that you want to? Anything more specific about a fried chicken sandwich?
I do prefer like the spicy fried chicken variety, but I mean, I don't know. Popeyes,
like the sauce, like tossed in sauce or sauced on top.
I like the sauce on top. I'm not as big of a Nashville hot fan as I like the idea of the Nashville hot more than I actually like eating the Nashville hot sandwich.
Exactly, yeah.
That was on my board, honestly, the Nashville hot.
Yeah, I think it's a good sandwich, but next to just like a straight up Popeye sandwich, I prefer the spicy or even a Chick-fil-A sandwich. But I mean, fried chicken sandwich, it's hard to beat.
Spicy chicken deluxe, fire. Yeah, so fire.
So good.
Hell yeah.
Spicy
nice pick.
Chicken deluxe.
Nice pick. All right. Nice one.
Mike Garcia is on the board.
On the board. Time is ticking.
I think I'm going to be good this whole thing, so I'm going to start with my lowest end sandwich. Okay. I think it's going to be the BLT.
That's on my board too.
You know, that's a classic that I eat in the kitchen most of the time. I got to say, I probably eat one almost once a week for the last 20 years. It's always that go-to in the kitchen because you have the bread real quick. You just have the bacon that's usually cooked. You know what I'm saying? If you have a station, they probably have some kind of lettuce and a tomato in there. You can whip that together really quick.
Yeah. Special mayo? What kind of mayo you put on that?
I mean, whatever mayo's in there.
A little pesto mayo? Like a little pesto mayo?
Whatever that lemon aioli, garlic aioli, herb aioli, black garlic aioli, whatever's right there. It's all about the tomatoes. You know, you got some good bacon, but in the right season, the tomatoes just make a little salt and pepper on it, dude. That's good.
It's a summer sandwich. It really is.
Good to me.
Yeah.
That's good to me.
That's awesome. Nice one. Nice pick.
Great pick.
All right. I get 2 picks.
The Co-Noodle Boy is on the clock.
I'm on the clock. I'm going to go in honor of our friend Mike Garcia. I'm going to go with the torta.
Oh, that was on my
Nice.
There's a lot of different tortas. I put I don't know. I was looking around before this draft, kind of like seeing all the different types of tortas, and I don't know. I always come back to this, it's like ham and carne asada, with the refried beans or smashed beans on there, lettuce, tomato, guacamole, fire. It's like
great.
It's like they make like a guac mayo or a lime mayo.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good on there.
It's such an overlooked item at your like local Mexican hole in the wall spot. The torta, like I don't know. There's a few places that I've been 100 times. I always order the same thing, and then one time you'll order the torta, and you're like, "What? Why did I not eat this every single time prior to me coming here?"
So good.
Such a banger.
Yeah,
It's so good.
dude.
Do you know the name of the bread? So it's similar to like a French baguette, but it's like a little softer and shorter.
There's a couple of different names I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen a Attire roll.
Mm-hmm.
Tolero.
That's the one I'm familiar with.
And I've seen a bolillo.
The bolillo is the one that's kind of like a
more like French,
more like a baguette,
small,
like cigar kind of shape,
thing.
right?
Yeah.
Really good sandwich.
Actually, there's a Mexican market by me that has like a whole case of pastries, and they have like half sheet trays just stacked up with a bunch of tongs, and you walk up and you pull out. They got a bunch of the bolero rolls. They got a bunch of donuts and cakes and like all
cookies.
Kinds of shit, dude. And then people are standing in line, and because when you have free reign, people just can't help themselves, and their tray is just like overflowing with all kinds of pastries.
Yeah, man. Get that, double bag it with a plastic bag so it stays fresh. And that's that pan dulce. That's that sweet bread. That stuff is delicious.
Oh, fire.
Fire. But back to that torta, you gotta have that shreddis on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Gotta have shredded lettuce. Yeah. Iceberg.
Shreddis is the best thing, dude.
It's gotta be iceberg.
Gotta be iceberg. It's useless. It's not really nutrition.
If you're thirsty,
nutrition.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's just crunch. That's
all. Squeeze that
is.
out. Yeah, it's all that crunch. It's so good.
Get that water. Yeah. Stay hydrated, y'all.
So you get to pick another one.
I get to pick another one. This one would probably fall further down, and it probably would get back to me, but it's such a good one. It's also my controversial sandwich, so if it can get vetoed, and I would be okay with that. But I'm going to throw out the Connecticut style lobster roll.
Ooh, is that the cold or the hot?
No, that's the hot with butter.
Okay.
On a soft roll.
I had it on my list.
Warm.
Mike don't like that one. By his face, he didn't like that pick.
I just never had it. It sounds okay. But not a split top bun.
Yeah, it's almost like hot dog bun-ish. See, that's why we're getting into like what is a sandwich, because to me, like a hot dog, I don't know if that really counts, but lobster roll kind of counts, like more than I don't know.
I think it definitely counts. I mean, if you like lobster and you like hot butter, I mean,
yeah, it goes together. Yeah, I've just never been. I've been to Connecticut once.
I had this style in Maine.
You had it in Maine,
and it changed my life. I was like, oh my! It was like the softest, like butteriest, like steamed bun. It was like almost like a bao bun almost, but split top like that, and it was just like buttery lobster on top, and yeah, that's the ticket right there.
For as mediocre of a state as Connecticut is, they have some great food. I mean, their pizza, their lobster rolls. New England as a whole has great lobster rolls, but I do like the hot lobster roll. Their pizza is fucking great. New Haven's got great pizza.
A New Haven pizza, that's what you like? Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, we live close. Like I grew up close, but we moved away when I was 8. So we had it when I was a kid, but that was kind of it.
We drove through a couple of years ago, and we were like calling like every pizza place down there, and they must just get so much business that pretty much every place that we called, it would just go straight to a machine, like an automated thing. And it was like, most of them were like, we're at capacity for the night. It's like 6:00, but they've already like exceeded their maximum amount of orders for the night.
That's crazy.
We finally got a pizza, and ate it in the parking lot in the back of the tailgate in my truck. It's great. Fucking awesome.
I've only been to the Sound in Connecticut. You're not from Connecticut, are you?
No, I lived in New Hampshire for a long time, but when I was a kid, but I had
Where are you
cousins
from,
that
Ronnie?
would live. Uh, I have a hard time answering that. I was born in Southern California, then we moved to New
Okay.
Hampshire. I lived there for like 10 years, and then we moved back to San Diego. I lived there for like 10 years, and then moved up to Tahoe. So, I've kind
Oh
of
shit.
just like
Okay.
bounced around. So, yeah, I don't really know where my home is, Mike.
Yeah, I've been the same way. My sister and I were born in Germany,
Oh, yeah. I
and
remember that
then
about you.
we my dad was from Dallas, so we moved to that area, and then we moved
Military
to
family?
Phoenix. No, it kind of ended when we came back. He was
Oh,
kind of
okay.
done,
Gotcha.
and then middle of nowhere, Texas, called Mansfield,
Okay.
and then to Phoenix. So half through my high school, I was in two different states, and
Okay.
then started working in any job, and then started cooking part time.
Yeah, how'd you start in food?
I started in food when I used to live by this little restaurant, and my son, mom, and I split up at this time, so I picked up a part time job,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I walked into this little kitchen. It was a small little house that's from like the 20s in Phoenix, and the back door is open, and I asked the chef if they were hiring. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I can work 2 days. And he's like, you can. He asked me if I was smart. I remember that was the very first thing. Are you smart? And I was like, yeah, whatever, do whatever. And he's like, well, you can work pantry. You can just make these salads and do this. And that's what did. I was kind of into it.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading a lot. I was cooking at home. I had this little apartment, by myself,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what started it all.
Okay.
It's such a good interview question.
I bought a fucking subscription to like Bon Appetit,
Oh
and
yeah.
was like, this is too expensive. And I just looked at Bon Appetit for a full year and any other magazine I could find, and then I would just copycat that shit, in a way, and then learning kind of that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of started in kitchens in a similar way where I I was a kid and I just walked to the like closest business to my house. It was, um, I lived in just, this neighborhood. So it was all, there wasn't any like commercial businesses around. And so like a mile or so from my house, there was a country club and it was a shitty country club at that. But I just walked over there and kind of same thing. I just like walked into the kitchen. I asked if they were hiring. They hired me on the spot as a bus
Shit.
boy, and I had no idea what a bus boy was. And so the next, I went home and told my dad. I was like, I need to go get some black slacks and a white button-up shirt, and I went back to work, started working there, and but I had no idea what a busboy was, what I was supposed to be doing, what my job was. So I was just kind of always standing around, and they'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "What do I do?" And they're like, "Go
Yeah.
bust those tables." I was like, "I don't know what that means." They're like, "Go fill up their waters, go clear their plates." But
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
do like one task and then come back and be like, "Now what do I do?" They're
yeah,
like, "Oh
yeah,
my god."
yeah. That's
I was
kind of,
like
I'm sorry, when I was in high school, my
16.
senior year, I worked. That was maybe my junior year. I worked in a Chinese restaurant down the street
Okay.
from my house, and I was a busboy.
Uh huh.
And the busboy would also get people drinks.
Yep.
And then one day, this one of the owner servers, she came up to me and asked me to take drinks out to the table. And those huge Coca-Cola goblets, four of them full, my first table I've ever went up to in my life, just dropped all of them on all of them. She pulled me from my fucking shirt back to the server alley, and she's like, "Stay here." Oh man, I was like, I'm never gonna be anything in this business. It's kind
Yeah.
of
Look
funny.
at you now.
Yeah, yeah. Look at me now. All right, where are we at here?
All right. I believe you're on the clock, Mike.
Oh, you're next.
No, it's you. It goes back to you.
Oh, it goes back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
We're good.
I got the French dip.
Okay.
Been on my
Let's know.
menu for the last year. I've kind of perfected it over the last year, I think.
Yeah.
A little about the French dip. It is from California. It's from LA, actually. Um, love the two part of it. You know, the sandwich, dipping it in jus, keep like that whole thing, sipping the jus afterwards. It's like
Yeah.
it complements it really well. You know,
It's an interactive.
so
Excuse me.
interactive.
An
So
interactive experience.
yeah. So that's what I go with.
What cut of meat do you use for the French dip?
Man, I was using the whole ribeye. But this past 6 months, the last place I worked at, I started using a top sirloin,
Okay.
piece of meat that a lot of people are not using. Um, Perfect for like slow roasting to
Mm-hmm.
that mid rare temp and chilling, and then slicing it. And I swear you can never tell. I mean, there's less fat in it too. So you're getting a little more meat than those little like with that whole ribeye in there, you know, like where it's all fat. Like you kind of
Mm-hmm.
cut that out already, and you're just using that top. So and there's a little bit of a fat cap on top of that, but $15 or $5 less a pound, you know. So works in my application.
Are you slicing it on the like a meat slicer?
Oh yeah, cooling it first, and then slicing it as thin as you can before it falls apart. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of how I slice pretty much everything besides our
Oh yeah.
cheeses, you know.
Yeah. Great
And then
pick.
making the jus with some herbs. It's just as good, you know.
Fuck yeah.
Horseradish cream, a little Gruyere, toasted sourdough I got. That's it.
I had the worst French dip of my life in South Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
There was a spot. I mean, couldn't have been a better location. It was on the other side of the road, but there was no businesses across from it, so it was just essentially lakefront minus the road in between the restaurant and the road and the lake. It was called like the Bear Inn or like the Big Bear Inn or something like that. My buddy worked there as a server. Picked up a part time job or whatever, and I went in to say hi and stop at his place of business, and I ordered the French dip. It came out on a cold roll. I mean, like cold to the touch. Like they just pulled it out of their low boy, sliced it open, untoasted, nothing, with the grayest meat that you've ever seen inside. That was lukewarm with no cheese or nothing on it. And then the dip on the side, I thought that he brought me out a side of soy sauce because it was so dark and so salty. Dude, the whole thing was completely inedible. It was disgusting. I'm pretty sure that place has since closed, but
South Lake.
nevertheless, French dip is a great sandwich.
A lot of rough chefs come out of that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a few.
And I'm one of them.
I think it was called the Bear Beach Inn.
Oh
My
man.
buddy Tom worked there for a little bit, I think.
Did he?
You know about it? You know about this place?
I don't think I ever ate there. I know where it is. I think it was attached to I don't know. It's that big like resort thing that gets trashed on 4th of July every year. I don't know.
You gotta
It
come
was.
serious with that sandwich, you know? It's like people expect things from that thing. Like my biggest thing with making sandwiches is that it's so easy, but it's like so easy to screw up too with a lot of people, you know? Like
Sure.
you gotta do it right.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the fajitas, it's like kind of a trashy thing to order. Not that the French dip is, but the fajitas. But if you order the fajitas, like you expect that thing to come out on the sizzling platter,
Fuck
kind of
yeah.
the same thing with the French dip. Like you expect it to come out with a big old thing of jus and
Yeah.
so yeah. All right.
All right, Ronnie. 2 picks for you.
All right. With my second pick of the whipped cream salmon sandwich draft, I've selected the meatball parm.
Ooh. Well, Italian-American coming
I
at
was
you.
thinking that one.
It's one of my favorite. That's also a sandwich that's really easy to fuck up. That you order it. A lot of times you go to a place and you'll order it kind of thinking that it's going to be trash and you're just hoping for the best.
But a good meatball and good bread and really saucy. Some
like you're thinking Subway
cheese,
and then go from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I mean, like,
sometimes you get in and it's
know,
like, these are clearly like frozen out of a bag meatballs. But sometimes you go to a place like that you might think that you're going to get those kind of meatballs and it comes to your table and you're like, actually, this is like the owner's known as meatballs and this is fucking bomb. So, meatball parm is one of my favorites.
The house sauce.
Yeah. Do you like them? Do you like them split in half, or do you like the whole meatball?
Oh, great question.
I think I like the whole meatball, but the meatball should also be like tender enough that you can kind of smash it in the bread. You know?
Yeah. You grab the bread.
That's risky. That's risky. You just go for it. Weak bread. That ball's down on the bottom.
That's another thing. You have to have the right bread. You
have a big mouth.
That's what's great about Ronnie.
that I'm not worried about that part.
I'm onto this one real quick.
Ooh.
This is Don Fuliano.
Oh, turn up.
Cheers, Don.
Cheers, Don.
Okay. For my next pick, I'm gonna go. Man, if I don't take either one of these, whichever one I choose, if I don't pick the other one, it's gonna get taken. So I'm gonna go with the Reuben.
Ooh, such a banger. It's on my board for sure.
Love a Reuben.
The Reuben or the pastrami?
Yeah, I think I prefer
the Reuben.
Well, you know what? I don't know.
That's beef or cured beef.
Yeah, people either do pastrami or corned beef. I think I'm more of a corned beef Reuben fan, but I don't know. See, at work now we have a pastrami Reuben, and it's pretty damn good. So I don't know. I don't know that I'd be disappointed either way. Yeah, so it's really all about the kraut, the cheese, and the sauce, and I don't know.
I'm a big fan of kraut.
Yeah, the Dubliner always had a really good Reuben.
What kind of delivery method? Are we talking about marble rye, sandwich style, top, closed? I mean, Reubens can be open as well.
Yeah, no, I think I'm a marble rye guy. It's pretty much the only time that I actually like rye bread. Not a big fan.
I mean, they usually put it on rye the other way, right? Like it's just brown rye. Which is not as fun. It seems to be more rye.
More rye.
More rye.
I always get these Instagram videos from Cats in New York City, and they're just like slice like a whole pound of pastrami onto untoasted bread and send it, and it's like on the tiniest little sandwich on the tiniest little plate. The sandwich barely fits on the plate. It looks super fire. It's a place that I haven't been to, but one day I will get to that.
Yeah, we got to go there.
To that deli. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
100%. Whipped cream salmon field trip.
That would be great.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Mike's back on the clock.
Back on the clock. I'm ready to roll. I'm going to go with the Muffaletta.
Ooh, on my board as well.
Muffaletta. I did not have that one on my board. That's a great sandwich.
The New Orleans sandwich. You know, I'm a fan of that jardiniere. Anything pickled like that with the cold cuts. It's delicious to me.
Mm-hmm.
You like a spicy jardiniere?
I do. And a little oily.
Yeah.
That's just me, though.
What do you picture on the Muffaletta? I mean, I wrote down for a Muffaletta Genoa salami, mortadella, provolone. Is that
The
what you would
provolone,
expect?
yeah. Maybe the what is it? Sopressata? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I didn't say
Capicola?
sopressata, but yeah, those are great.
The gabagool?
The gabagool.
The gabagool, right?
Hey, Tommy cutlets. Hey.
Hey, and just a little bit of that chardonnay and that bread. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
focaccia ciabatta kind of breadish,
Mm-hmm.
sesame seeds and shit. I think there's not really a sauce on there. I think it's just the oil and the chardonnay and like soaks up in that bread.
Got like a
Mhm.
tapenade on there, right?
Yeah, that's what that is. That
Yeah.
pickled carrot and celery and peppers,
And olives,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
For those who don't know, big old round sandwich, right? That's what you're
Yep.
picturing, cut into fours.
Cut into
typically.
slices, like
Yeah.
pizza or whatever,
Yeah. Great
kind of
sandwich.
thing.
Nice one. Ooh, and that then puts me back on the board, huh? For my last two picks. Jeez. I have a lot of stuff still on my board of really good sandwiches to choose from. I did have pastrami on rye on my board. I'm pulling that off my board though. We're not going with that. I got a lot of bangers here. I'm gonna go with a tried and true from the southern tip of Florida into the Caribbean, the Cubano.
The Cubano.
Such a great sandwich.
Great pick.
I've never had a real one.
Ham, pork, pickles.
What kind of pork?
I think like roast pork that's sliced, but also ham for sure. Sliced thin, but like
sliced
hot.
pork or pulled pork?
No, hot sliced pork.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I've ever had a real one then either, if that's what you're talking about.
Gruyere.
Mustard?
Gruyere, mustard, or or mayo and mustard.
Romaine?
Mayo and mustard, pickles. I don't really think there's lettuce on there.
Oh yeah,
Pickles, like a lot of pickle, like a big sliced pickle.
It's like a panini.
Yeah, it is a pressed sandwich. It's a real banger. Dijonnaise is what I was going to say.
I'm a little nervous now.
Dijonnaise.
Yeah.
I dated a girl named Dijonnaise.
No, you didn't.
No, you did not.
I did.
That's awesome. Where was she from?
Phoenix.
That's insane.
You only meet them. That probably wasn't even a real name. I only met her for a week. We hung out for a week.
You fell in love? Fell in love in a week, and then she was off into the sunset? Yeah.
She was on some other sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Dude.
Maybe that wasn't her name. I don't remember.
No matter what I pick here,
it was close.
I'm leaving out serious sandwiches.
Dijonnaise.
Dijonnaise. Hey, you up? Dijonnaise, you up?
Who's up?
I'm up.
1 o'clock in the morning. You? The you up text never worked for me.
Never.
I only tried it like
hardly
once.
Ever. Like it had to be like really like a reliable thing anyway, and then it would work in a funny way. You know what I mean? Like it's like kind of comedy.
I never was that guy like player enough to like.
You're a player, dude. You crush a lot though.
Be like, hey, girl, you
up.
You
do crush a lot.
She was already there. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to ask.
All right. Back to business, y'all.
God. All right.
I'm going Philly cheesesteak. Whiz.
Ooh, Tony's or Geno's?
Don't ask me that. I don't know. But I do want whiz.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's another sandwich that I've never really had from there. I've never been to.
I've never had Pat's and Geno's, right? I've never had either of theirs, but I have had
Tony's and Geno's. I want to say
it's Pat's.
I think it's Pat's and Geno's. I think you're right.
Yeah, Pat's.
I've never had either from either of those places, but I have had a Philly cheesesteak in Philadelphia, and it had Cheese Whiz out of the can, and it was melty and meaty and fatty and crunchy bread, salty, just decadent. Yeah, it's a delicious sandwich.
So no provolone. It's right. It's either provolone or cheese whiz.
That's one of the two options. It's like provolone. I think if you go provolone, Do you also go with broccoli rabe and provolone? Is that a thing?
They're probably just like the white or the
Not
yellow.
broccoli rabe. There's no broccoli
rabe?
in Philly.
That's a roast beef sandwich.
Yeah,
That's a roast beef sandwich.
I'm going Philly cheesesteak with whiz. Meat, cheese whiz, roll.
Wit.
Yeah.
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 I want both.
Wit.
Yeah.
Whiz.
And prov.
I want just both sandwiches. So you just decide. But that whole battle between two different corners of the same sandwich is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Though. You don't usually see that anywhere else, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I think that's the same thing with the French dip in LA. It's they two spots claiming it both,
Right.
you know?
Right across the street from each other. It's wild.
Yeah, they're like right down the street from each other.
Oh, I made this shit first.
And they always say it was like an accident, you know, like the French dip said the guy accidentally dropped the sandwich into the beef shoe.
Yeah, he's like,
it might have been like
Tony
beef
was... Yeah, we called him Clumsy Tony, and he was always dropping shit.
Yeah.
One day he dropped the sandwich right in there. And we were busy, so we just sent it out. And the guy said, "That's the best fucking sandwich I ever had."
Yeah, that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
But those are that's back in the day where you still have these two cheesesteak spots battling probably to this day, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
Let's keep going. We'll do a little bit of recap on what's left on my board as well once we get through it.
Do some
A couple honorable mentions. But what do you got, Mike?
Yeah.
Your last pick.
I want to go with it's called a couple things. It's just the classic Italian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, like when I was in New York, they called it the wedge, which is like a sub sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
But just that, like, well, everything's on sourdough out here.
Yeah.
But it's just that, like, classic white bread. I'm thinking roll with the shredders, the tomato, the vinegar,
Shredders.
the gabagool.
Mm-hmm. You get some roasted reds on there.
Maybe cold, maybe hot. It didn't really fucking matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just that was just really good to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Salami, ham, cheese. You do prove on that too, or you do mozzarella on that, like thick cut,
you can do
fresh
Swiss.
Yeah.
You can do mozzarella. Yeah. But it's all about the vinegar and the salt and pepper.
Yeah.
I'm really big on those things. Yeah. You know?
If you make me a sandwich with tomatoes on it and you don't fucking salt my tomatoes, sending that shit back, dude.
Dude, I have cooks that ask me why I do that. Like, why we have this steak sandwich on the menu we had this last place, and like, what are you salting the tomatoes for and pepper and a tomato? Like, what are you talking about?
You show them the door.
Salt everything.
There's a lot of little things that are just lost these days.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Yeah, kids these days, you know, with their TikTok and their fucking bland tomatoes.
They're taking that away, right? Aren't they taking that shit away?
I don't know. We're gonna send it, throw it into the Gulf of America and shit. Yeah.
With all the oil. And the scallops.
Oh god. All right.
Well, so what are we doing? Do I need another sandwich?
No, you're good. Ronnie's got one more.
I do have an honorable mention.
Yeah, we'll do a couple of those after Ronnie's last pick.
I do love. Yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to jump the gun.
You're good.
You're good. I thought this one was. I thought Brian was going to jump on this one. I'm going to go with the Banh Mi.
Yeah.
Oh, nice
sandwich that I don't eat enough. It's kind of hard to find a good one around here. But man, it's such a good sandwich.
Braised pork shoulder, right?
I think maybe pork belly is more common that I've had.
Okay.
Also the pâté spread.
And I've only had one that had the pâté spread. Some people, are against pâté. I love it. But man,
that'd be chicken.
So that'd be fresh.
Duck.
Oh, you do duck.
Duck pâté. Oh man.
That'd be duck pâté or chicken.
I would imagine probably chicken would be more common, but
yeah, like chicken mousse. I'm thinking, right?
I could get down on some duck duck liver pate.
Yeah.
Pickled veg, the julienne carrot, cilantro.
So much veg, so spicy and fresh. Yeah, that's such
We have
a
a place around
sandwich.
here called Banh Mi Brothers that has like, I don't know, 6 or 7 different banh mi's, and they have like a Chinese barbecue banh mi, and they have like the classic with like the
Chinese pork.
Yeah. They have that.
The red
They have the one with the pate.
Char-siu shit.
What's the name of the? There's that like that like Vietnamese cold cut. And if I knew the name, I would.
Oh, I know
I
what
would
you're talking about. I think it's chicken.
Yeah. Anyway, great sandwich. Nice pick.
That's a sandwich that I pull like the French dip. So there's a spot out here in Reno. I get the pho at, and then I get the banh mi and I dip it in the pho, and I eat that together.
Oh,
Asian French dip, dude.
Dude, call me.
That's the next level of
You know
fat
what I'm saying?
back shit. Yeah, that's
Call me.
good.
I'm all about fat boy sandwiches. Oh
yeah.
man, we used to make these filet because when you work in restaurants, you can just make whatever you want. We used to make these filet. We used to slice filet, cook it just really quick. Put demi all over the top.
Stop.
Demi onions.
Stop.
And just dip that whole thing in demi. That's how bad we used to get with the sandwiches. But yeah, the banh mi dip into the pho broth is
that's good.
delicious.
That's a good call. Especially like the banh mi bread is crunchy like that, right? It's really like
it's French baguette.
It's a baguette,
yeah. It's that French influence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They used to run them motherfuckers, I guess. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I actually when I had pulled up banh mi, and like the 5th or 6th option on here was Banh Mi Brothers in Charlotte.
Really good.
In the Google search. But on their sandwich it says cold cuts of Vietnamese ham, and then it says pork roll, which I'm assuming is like a Taylor ham pork roll that they use at least at this Charlotte spot.
Pork roll being like a ham.
There's a ham on that sandwich.
It's kind of similar to like a Spam adjacent. It's like super salty, like pressed ham kind of.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Spam. We've been trying to make that here at the house.
Actually,
hell yeah.
My biggest honorable mention is the Taylor ham, egg, and cheese. And I know
that's a solid
I know
one.
that people outside of like New York, New Jersey don't know what Taylor ham is, but like it's cool that you do, because like not many people do, and most people even
I don't know any idea.
Yeah,
what that
it's
is.
like you said, it's like kind of Spam adjacent. It's round. You cut like slits on the side.
You mean round like in a container that looks like a acorn, like that?
Well, it either comes in like a log, or you can get it like pre-sliced, and then when you fry it, you have to like cut like 3 little cuts in it so it doesn't like cup up like those like crazy,
just like fried bologna.
Yeah, score that bitch.
Really good.
Yeah.
Let me recap our board real quick for the listeners, and then we'll go through some more honorable mentions. So Ronnie's got the fried chicken sando, meatball parm, Reuben, banh mi, great lineup. Mike's got the BLT, the French dip, the muffaletta, and the Italian. And I got the torta, the Connecticut lobster roll, the Cubano, and the Philly cheesesteak. Pretty fired up. I think everyone's got some pretty good lineups. Yeah, and
I think we need to have a party. We each bring our respective sandwiches, cut them into pieces.
Man, I got so many. I've done so many events with so many sandwiches that I love pimento cheese.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
talk dirty to me.
So good.
Pimento cheese on white bread is so good.
We just bought this new product from Australia, from West Home Beef. It's a beef bacon. So they're like taking the rib cap and doing this long cold smoke on it.
Ooh.
And you cut it. It looks like a slab of pork belly, but it's beef. It's the rib cap of the ribeye. And you cut it really thin, and you hit it on the flat top, and we were running a BLT with that.
Ooh.
And nobody knew what the hell it was. I didn't know what the hell it was until last year, but beef bacon.
That's awesome.
Like,
so it comes out.
You want to try that?
Like, it's raw, right? It's like cold smoked. It's raw.
It's raw.
Yeah.
It's not cured. Yeah. It's not cured like bacon. It's still, it does have a little cook to it. you could probably say that it's like par cooked in a way, you know,
Okay.
but it's still raw.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing that I think you'll start seeing maybe on menus.
That's cool.
Okay.
West Home's a huge ranch in Australia.
You said
We
West
did
Home?
West Home.
Okay.
We did a couple cuttings with them, and they got some superior product. They're Wagyu cow that I'm guessing they just bought these Japanese cows and put them on this huge ranch in Australia. One of the hugest ranches, like one of the largest ranches in the world right now. And it's just a ton of free roaming space. I don't know if that's what's making these cows so good, but their heritage seems to be really,
Nice.
really good too.
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Beef bacon.
Beef bacon.
Oh yeah.
That just sounds so good.
Beef
Nice.
bacon. Yeah, I'm on their website right now. Their meat looks really
Nice.
good.
Yeah, they have all kinds of different grades of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. What are some of our honorable mentions, Brian? What do you got?
So like I said, I got the Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do like
Is that on a bagel?
bagel would be good. Hard roll
Hard
is
roll.
kind of it. Yeah.
Hard
Yeah,
roll.
the round hard roll. Yeah, Ronnie knows. Ronnie's from fucking New York. Huh? Right over the East River. I got bacon cheeseburger on my board.
Go down to my local bodega.
Is that right behind your back?
Get a hot roll. Get a Taylor ham on a hot
Get a
roll.
hot roll. Get a gram of some nugs. Maybe a Dutchie.
Yeah.
A buzz ball.
And a Lucy.
A Lucy and a buzz ball. Horchata buzz ball.
What an order. What an order. Oh my God.
These things are disgusting. Anyway, honorable mention, if I can mention one, fucking love. I have two sandwiches that I eat in the summer, and I would straight away. The BLT was a big one when I'm working. If I'm at home, a turkey sand. You know, like a turkey sandwich on some bread with some American cheese. You put that in the backpack, you go for a hike. The best thing is when that heat in the backpack slowly does this weird melty thing with the turkey or the ham and the white bread. That sandwich is like no other. It's like cooking eggs when you're camping. The eggs are like twice as good always, you know, with the bacon when you're camping. But oh man, that turkey sand and
Cooking
that's
on your back heat.
Yeah, it's that back heat like hot box. And then the PB&J, like the PB&J is my other summer sandwich.
Yeah.
I won't even eat dinner. I'll just eat the PB&J for like 2 weeks and then go to the turkey and then probably go back to the PB&J.
That's good. Nice.
You know, that little stoner sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
But another one thing I want to talk about sandwiches. Sorry.
You're good.
Please.
This is supposed to be my dry January. And you guys got me drunk, so it's all good. I want to talk about people who don't put sauces, like if it's mayo or mustard or whatever the sauce is on the sandwich, from coast to coast. You know what I'm saying? All the way from left to right. Don't leave any part of the sandwich uncovered. You know, like I see people who like squirt sauces on a burger just in the middle of the bun. That nothing more irks me in my life than seeing someone just do a hard squirt on the middle of the bun. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want that last bite to be as good as the first bite. You got to finish the sandwich strong. That's what I wanted. That's my point in that.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Coast to coast, left to right.
Coast to coast, dude.
Right to left.
East to west.
East to west, baby.
I love that.
That's so important. Like the last bite of something that's really good, it sticks with you. It sticks with you.
What about the cook that squirts it, but then does the rotation of the bun around the squirt to get it east to west?
Lazy.
Okay.
That's lazy, coach.
Brian just called out.
I'm not a spinner. I'm a big dude. I want that knife in my hand, and I want to like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
maybe throw a little bit extra, especially if it's like chicken. You know, you need a little more sauce in the chicken always.
Sauce is important.
Just saying, I've been making too much food in my life.
We love making food.
What about you, Ronnie?
Yeah.
For my honorable mentions, I've got the grilled cheese sandwich.
No one did that.
And I'm surprised that none of our honorable mentions overlapped. So this is good. At the grilled cheese sandwich. And then this is a controversial one. I thought it was kind of funny, but it's also one of my favorite things to eat, period, is an everything bagel with cream cheese.
Ooh. I actually I didn't have it on my actual board, but I was thinking like lox and cream cheese and capers and like all that on an everything bagel is like,
or an East Coast egg and cheese bagel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
When I worked in New York, there was a little deli down the street, and that was the best thing ever, was just to get the egg and cheese bagels.
Breakfast
because they made the
sandwich is
bagels
so
there.
good.
But man, the grilled cheese, so many different ways you can go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the goat cheese. I like all the cheeses.
Give me all the cheeses.
4 cheeses, 5 cheeses.
And like, dude, just like a couple craft singles, some government cheese on there. It's like, it's hard to beat. Dude, I mean, if there's like one like broke boy meal, like some fucking, you know, government cheese on white bread dipped in Campbell's, you know, tomato soup, like that's
some beanie weenie,
some beanies,
some beanie weenie, some tater tots, and a grilled cheese that's not even melted all the way. Because it's government cheese? Oh, dude, that's what I grew up on.
Your electricity got shut off halfway through the cook.
Dude, my grandma had candles, and she was like, I don't give a fuck. The lights go up. We got these sandwiches. My grandpa's got a fire outside in some, like, oil drum. Go out there and heat these shits up. Oh, I miss those
Dude,
days.
I'll just go east to west with the fucking Velveeta, dude. Just send it.
Oh, that's what my mom made mac and cheese with.
Yeah.
She just melt that out with milk.
Yeah,
and then just cook it with the noodles, man.
That's my secret when I'm making mac and cheese. It doesn't matter like what kind of bougie cheese you got in there. You got to throw in a slice or two of, you know, an American cheese, because it's the sodium citrate in the cheese that makes give it that creamy texture. But like, you can turn any cheese you got into Velveeta with just a slice or two of American craft singles in there.
Yeah, that stuff keeps it from breaking too, right?
Mm-hmm.
One cheese to rule them all.
That's the glue. I mean, you can just go cornstarch, but I hate cornstarch.
Yeah,
it's like cornstarch is one of those things that like I feel like real cooks can't fucking stand. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just reduce it a little more.
Reduce the stuff properly. Yeah. But then if you gotta go, you gotta go. You're like doing a party. You got it. Like, your block broke. And you got 150 people to feed. You know, like there's times where it's an emergency thing for me.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. Exactly. And that's one thing that as I get older, I'm okay with. Like, I'm not going to stress about this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just food.
I'm already stressing about. Yeah, that's what makes it suck, is when you start stressing about Jose not being able to make his dish shift. You know, you're like, oh, how am I going to make this gnocchi if this guy keeps not showing up to wash the dishes? Like, you don't need that stress.
Nobody needs that.
100%. All right. Yeah. Shall we do it? Shall we get into the idiot sandwiches?
Yeah.
Idiot sandwich.
What are you?
Idiot.
You stupid idiot.
I'm an idiot sandwich.
You're an idiot.
Of all the idiots, you stand alone.
What do I got?
Brian,
it's a hard one
for us.
So my idiot sandwich goes to me. It's a common occurrence. I go to the Asian market. I'm looking around. I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to pick the best thing out, but I also want to experiment quite a lot, you know? And often I will pick out something that goes into my basket, gets paid for, gets tried once, and then goes directly into the trash. And that's what happened last week. I picked up it's like a jar of pickled ginger. I was making ramen. I was like, all right, we'll we got some pickled ginger. This was like it's in like a taller plastic jar, and it was like kind of julienne shaped, and it was like really red looking. And I was like, okay, I really like this shape. I think it's gonna be cool. Like, picturing like
it said ginger on the.
Yeah, it is ginger.
container.
It's like it is pickled ginger, and it's like really bright red. I was like, oh, this is cool looking. I just kind of expected it just to taste like the pickled ginger that I was used to, and I pulled it out and I tried it, and it was like the saltiest fucking thing I've ever had, and it was like really like briny and like acidic and like all the stuff that I didn't expect. So idiot sandwich goes to me because I can't read the Japanese labels at all, and I will continue to buy stupid things at the Asian market. So congratulations to me for that.
Yeah, I mean that's. Yeah, I mean I buy that shit when I get my eyes get really big when I'm in there.
Yeah,
and none of it makes sense.
Sometimes you come away and you're like, oh, this is like an awesome thing that I never thought of. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is trash.
You're like, I got this ube tapioca starch. I'm gonna make something purple with it. You're like, what the fuck even is this? Oh, it's boba. I gotta get it wet and let it soak up.
Dude, one time I bought like boba tea in a can, and I was just like, oh, I'll just like have a boba tea can and like shake it up. I'm drinking this, and the tapiocas are just like so gross. They've been in there for probably decades. Who knows, really? And I'm like, you can't drink this stuff. You got to get the fresh boba. If you're gonna drink boba, you got to get it fresh. Lesson learned.
Go in there, those places, because sometimes they have those like live fish or live eels.
We got them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you go in there, tell them you buy one and just tell them you want it live. Like say, I want to take this home. Live.
Leave it live.
Yeah, leave it live.
That's fire.
Take that home.
Yeah.
Take that home.
Just give it to me in a fucking bag with water. Yeah.
Put it in my bathtub when I get home.
Soak it in that pickled ginger and cook that shit.
Oh man. Yeah.
Put it in the bathtub.
A pet.
Yeah.
I've told this on the pod, but a little while back I was at the Asian market. I was looking for pickled mustard greens, and it took me forever to find it. And I eventually did. It was in the refrigerated section, and it was just like in a clear plastic bag, with some like Chinese writing or so on it. And I got it home, and it's pretty dark in color. I'm a little intimidated by this thing. I open it up. It's like, it's got a funk to it for sure.
Nice.
Dude, I pull this thing out. It's an entire pickled mustard green plant.
Oh, roots and everything.
It had every part of this. It wasn't chopped up. I unraveled this thing. It was probably, I don't know, 2.5 feet long of just a whole pickled mustard plant in there. I was
Holy
like,
moly.
okay, wow. So,
was it good though?
It was good adjacent. It was
with whatever you're using it for.
It was salty. It was funky for sure. I was like,
Yeah. Some of that stuff gets me in there, like those century eggs.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I don't know. I couldn't get down on that. Or those embryos, like full old embryos.
Stop. Yeah.
Nah.
It's a Filipino. What do they call it?
It's like a half. Yeah, it's like
we just did
almost hatched, and you're just supposed to eat that.
I have some. Yeah. Stillbirths.
Mm-hmm.
We just did a Filipino dinner. I had some Filipino cooks, and we do this community dinner, and I had them put a dinner together, and that was pretty cool.
That's cool.
Pretty fucking good food that they do that kind of like a sweet and sour in a different way, kind of on that adobo chicken.
Yeah.
And then we had the pork lumpias.
Yeah.
And we had, God, I'm going to destroy all these names. It was like it's like a pork belly that's braised.
Mm-hmm.
That's braised with like star anise, bay leaves, peppercorns. And then you chop it all up. You braise it for like 3 hours. You chop it all up, and you mix it with mayo. And you make these lettuce wraps with like you squeeze a bunch of lime and lemon over the pork with the mayo. Oh, delicious!
Sounds
But the
bomb.
pork belly is kind of crispy too, you know. You just pretty much deep fry it, I guess. Braise it in oil, confit.
Yeah, butter poach. Cool.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you got a good one?
I do have a good idiot sandwich. So at work we just hired this new girl, and so she comes through. She's worked at like Starbucks before. She's been great. She obviously is like pretty green, right? And I'm like in the dish pit. We don't have like a dedicated dishwasher, so I'm in the dish pit. I'm running some stuff, and I'm on the drying side of the dish pit. You know, I'm drying stuff, putting things away. And she comes over with some dirty dishes, and she tries to come in through the outdoor, you know, put stuff on that. I was like, hey, I was like, you got to go to the other side, you know, clean stuff over here. She goes over there. She's like, runs the load of dishes through. I'm on the receiving end. I open this thing up and I pull it out, and she used one of the dish racks that don't have the dividers, just like the flat dish rack, you know? So I pull this thing out, and there's like 5 plates that are just stacked one on top of the other. She just ran it through the dishwasher. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, and then I like, what?
I've never seen that one.
I've never seen that before. It's so good.
I told one of the other front of the house girls when she came back, I was like, will you go grab the new girl and tell her I got to yell at her? Because I was like, this is ridiculous. She came back, I was like, she came back, I had to explain why you can't wash dishes that way. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm glad that we're getting somewhere here.
She must not wash a dish in her life.
That's wild. That's wild.
It was one of those moments where you're just like, I don't.
It's wild like
I
that.
don't
You
even
think that like what's that whole common sense thing? Like you just gotta have a little bit of it. You don't have to have a lot.
A tiny bit.
little
I
bit.
mean, I was just like, oh, jeez. So,
Congratulations.
idiot sandwich, new girl. You know,
That's pretty wholesome there. I don't know if I could. Mine is just me bashing my old employee.
Those are the stories we love.
It's just how stupid they are.
that's fine. We've had plenty of those. What you got?
It's just there's nothing really that I was trying to think about this one for a long time today, and I think that I've just been given so many of these experiences that I can't really think of one. I've had multiple cooks in my career. They don't know the difference between a zucchini or a cucumber. And that fucking blows my mind. Like I've seen cooks that I've told to cook or to prep half moons on the Vias squash, and it's all cucumbers, and it's a whole 6-inch pan. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, is it my fault because I didn't go check on them? You know, it probably was.
That's tough.
As a chef, you're like, oh, it's always your fault.
It's one thing to grab the wrong thing and start cutting it. It's a whole nother thing to fill up that 6 pan.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's the biggest hotel pan you can get.
That's crazy.
Oh my god, that's a good.
So that's pretty like, I don't know. I've had it all though. I love the wrong labels.
Mm-hmm.
I love the multicultures in the kitchen. You know, like everyone from everywhere. When I worked in New York, it was like that. You know, you had everyone from everywhere. We had Sudanese, we had Puerto Rican, Dominican, Filipino, American, like everyone from everywhere. I kind of miss that.
Mm-hmm.
But then seeing things in the walk-in of how people spell,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
it's gotta be up there with one of the best.
What I found that helps try to identify what the fuck that label says is try to identify first who wrote the label and then speak in their accent or
Dialect?
dialect and then read it and then you'd be like, oh,
I totally do
it's
that.
garlic aioli.
Askus. Askus is the one I got a lot. It was asparagus. It was Askus. Just ASSGUS. Askus. Like, where the fuck do you get that from? Oh, that Askus.
Oh, God.
Well, I used to put a lot of that. I had an Instagram page at one time that had, I don't know, 20,000 followers, which I didn't know.
Wow.
My friend of mine had put me on Instagram. I didn't really know what it was. I'm dating myself. I really didn't know what it was. And I ended up deleting all of it. But the best thing I would post were these Ask Us.
Just labels.
And everyone just started loving these bad names.
That's awesome.
That's fucking hilarious.
Pretty funny stuff. But on the real, I can't stand people who don't look for things.
Mm.
Oh,
I think it's we might be harping on the kids, which I don't want to, but in the kitchen, when you just come to me and tell me we don't have this, and I know it's there. I don't know. That's one of the biggest things that's gotten to me this past couple of years in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, just look everywhere.
Especially when you walk in and it's like the first thing that you see when you walk in there. You're like,
Yeah.
how the fuck
I
did
mean,
you
that's
miss
usually what it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a snake, we would be fucking dead. Like, if it was a rattlesnake, we'd be fucking dead. But, like, oh, man, like, I don't know. Getting old in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also the best in this industry right now.
The top of the top.
I'm not boasting myself. I'm just saying, like, if you're in it for so long, you become part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean if you're good or bad, but you just definitely become part of it.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah. Well, with being the best, you must have a lot to teach our listeners then.
It's the Whipped Cream Salmon School for cooks that don't cook good.
What you got? Give us a tip.
I feel like my girlfriend is terrified to cook around me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if she just made like some Hunt's canned sauce and some noodles that had like some oil on it, I'd be happier than a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
You just
I'd
want
be
to be
so
cooked
happy.
for. I just want to be cooked for.
But you have, she's intimidated,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which I get. But at the end of the day, man, right? When you come home from any job, you just want to eat something solid, barely sit with your lady. If you have a kid, feed him and kick him to the side. I'm sorry, I have a grown kid, so. But I have a lot of I feel very blessed. I feel very like positive about this next year. It not because my mom made me realize it the other day when I was talking to her. She's like, "You just moved in with your girl. Beautiful place, new job. I paid my truck off.
Let's go."
She just got her new Mercedes.
Ooh.
All of these things are just like stacking up that I really didn't think as a. I don't know. I think there's times in a cook's life or a chef's life where she just snaps, or like it just changes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe that's just our stubbornness in kitchens. But there's finally a payoff now.
Yeah,
For sure.
You know, because you don't make shit for a long time. COVID actually is what I believed saved this industry.
Oh.
At that time,
Hot take incoming.
at that time, I mean, we could all think of whatever COVID is or whatever we want to think about it. It doesn't matter in this conversation. What I'm saying is that it made people realize how much this industry needed to be paid more.
It's true. It's true.
And I seen it. I seen these cooks in Reno that were making $15 an hour that started making $20 an hour. If you were in Tahoe, you were making $20 an hour. You were making 25 an hour. If you were a manager or a chef, you immediately started making more. You know,
It's interesting. Yeah.
that was something that I was like, this industry is never gonna like pop.
Mm-hmm.
Never gonna. No one's ever. But it took a pandemic to make people lose their restaurants, chefs make more, and new shit come out of it. You know, like it was a big push in that industry, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in Tahoe City where there hasn't been shit since I moved here. Tahoe City has died since 2009 when I moved here. Now that Pfeiffer House, when you come in Tahoe City,
It's close.
it was bought by Spruce, which is a restaurant in San Francisco. Mark Sullivan, he was actually the first chef of Plumpjack. He's bringing a chef team to run that restaurant. There's a new place in town called Silva, which is the Christie Hill chef, Andrew, which is, I believe, a born and raised Tahoe City guy, North Tahoe guy. Beautiful restaurant. Kyle Key's working there. Don't want to, we don't, we can edit that out. Um,
That's
um,
definitely staying in.
we can all agree with that one. But he's working there. He's super. Like he lives down the street from me, so I talk shit to him as much as I
He's
can.
a boy. He's a boy.
He still stinks. Don't worry about that.
That's definitely staying
He's a
in.
hippie.
That's
Anyways,
the thumbnail.
with
That's the clip.
our new project in town, I feel like there's some revitalization of locals that are coming into the community, and I want to put myself next to the best of the best here where I work and live, and I think I'm up to par with them. I feel like it's just a great opportunity that, like, I've never worked here in town.
Mm-hmm.
Always had to go somewhere else. I've never wanted to work anywhere else here in town. You know, like we all know these restaurants, the Jake's, the Wolfdale's,
Yeah.
Christie Hill, the Sunnyside. Now I want to work here.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people have the opposite take as far as like what happened with COVID, because of so many restaurants that closed and went out of
Yeah.
business, and people, like me and and Ronnie, like left the
It all depends where
industry,
you
and
live.
yeah.
Like I was truly blessed. Like I bought, this, I got the boat
Yep.
in that
Yeah.
year, but I had planned to do that before even COVID was a thing.
Motorboat son of a bitch.
And then I got paid by whomever that president was. I don't know whoever the fucking president is. Gives a fuck, really. But I didn't know who the president was, and I just never had taken unemployment in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just what a time to be on the lake and be in Tahoe, and
That was tight. That was a tight time.
it was tight. Like I didn't make it that way. It just should happen that way.
You made it happen,
Mm-hmm.
and we thank you for that.
Oh, we made it happen.
I mean, honestly, the time was good for me too. It gave me an easy out of the restaurant industry during that time. I was like, well, all these places are closed anyway. But then it financially gave me the ability to move out to North Carolina, start something new, do something different, so I don't know. Yeah. I mean,
Is that right when you left?
Yeah.
From Reno?
I was in Reno, we closed down during the pandemic, and then we were closed for a while. And I was fortunate because my restaurant owners, they were like, we're not going to be the first ones to reopen. We're not going to be the guinea pigs in this thing. And so they stayed closed for quite a bit longer. And it was a smart thing that they did, because even when we reopened, and then they were like, it was during that time where they're like, okay, like dining is reopened. And then they were like, went back on it and was like, actually, like it's limited. And then they, nobody had really figured anything out yet. So it was kind of back and forth for a little bit. And then we were like open kind of part-time. It was like 2 or 3 days a week. So, yeah. And then it just, the way that things were operating, and once we got back in the kitchen, I was like, I'm done with this. right now, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I need to get away from this. It was such a stressful time for everybody, but you know, it was like, it's just a weird time in general. Like suddenly for the first time in our entire adult lives, we had a chance to like think about what we were doing and what we cherished most in our lives and what we deemed important. And, you know, so
it goes back to even further than that. I mean, like our parents really never dealt with anything like this. I don't think it ever happened ever.
No.
I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm not a historian, but so some shit's happened.
Measles or something?
But for modern day, like it never.
Fucks with the measles?
That whooping cough. I thought I had that shit the other day.
That was the thing. All right, let's wrap this thing up real quick.
School's in session. We gotta get some tips out to our listeners real quick. They're waiting for us.
Need some tips?
Real quick.
How do you do it? Let me hit you with some knowledge.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
School bus don't waste for nobody.
School bus has been waiting for quite a long time.
Yeah. Bus driver's pissed.
You got 5 seconds, Mike. What's the tip for a home cook?
For a home cook, wash your hands.
That's a great tip. That's a great tip.
Wash your produce.
Yeah. Clip your nails.
Pat the blood off your meat, maybe a little bit before you cook it. You know, like cut your nose, wash your hands.
Yeah. Your nose.
Don't use the restroom before you cook in. Like, just be clean.
There you go.
I'm a clean guy.
Great tip.
Great tip. Ronnie, what you got?
My tip is to, when you're adding herbs to your food, add that shit at the very end. So many people throw in their herbs right at the beginning. That shit's going to be black and gross by the time you're done.
Gross ass herbs. Yep.
Yeah. And something like a bunch of chopped cilantro at the very end of your sauce once it's off the heat, and just kind of like let it bloom in the sauce. I mean, it'll brighten up the dish and completely transform it.
Yeah. Yep. And let it bloom on the plate.
If you're and if you're making something for prep, and that's going to be for like a long time, make that sauce, cool the sauce, add the herbs after that.
Cool it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like that. Nice. My tip, get yourself a good kitchen thermometer. Cooks are cocky and they don't think they need them. Well, that's why they blow their fucking meats and shit. It's really for like the big cuts, right? Like,
yeah, it's really for amateurs. Come on. I got so many cooks that are fucking probing every fucking steak.
Oh, really?
Learn to fucking be a cook, be a grill cook. Don't put your shit in the oven. Mark it on a slow. Control your heat. I think what the big point is that controlling your heat.
It's my tip. Mike,
like don't mark your steak and put it in a fucking oven. This isn't banquet shit. This isn't slobbing the hogs. This is like making nice plates, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I got cooks that want to probe left and right, and they keep probing and they keep probing.
Yeah. I think we're on this. We are on the same page.
If you grill every day, you've done this for a year, and this is all you do every day for 8 hours a day. This is your workspace, a grill. Master that shit.
I agree.
Or grab a thermometer and probe it till you fucking can't probe it.
I also think if you're a home cook that you're not grilling millions of steaks, and I really think for like a big roast, right? Like you're doing a pork roast or something, like
a turkey.
You can't just you're not just going to touch that. Like
rib roast.
And have some
big meat,
turkey.
like
and then you nail that temperature and you pull it out at 158 for a turkey, and it comes up to 165.
Like 8 to 10 pounds plus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Put it in the thickest part of the meat. Try to hit the bone.
Anytime you're cooking like a whole roast, like a loin or anything, like that's an appropriate time.
Sure, or even like
I agree. If you're cooking a hamburger and you're fucking temping it,
agreed. We're cooks. We know that.
Get the fuck out of here. Thank you.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah.
Come on. If you don't have the confidence in yourself, pull that burger up and do a little crack in that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe if you're chicken and you don't cut a little thickest part of the underneath where you're not going to serve. Like if you're that
cheese weld
worried about it.
Yeah.
Put some sauce on it. No, you don't see nothing. You really don't, right? You know this.
Yeah. No, yeah.
But if you're in your house cooking, like, especially poultry, I guess check it.
You're just saying that your girlfriend is intimidated to cook for you. She's gonna make you a roast chicken. Thermometer? It's a good move.
I mean, she could have gone on the side of like overcooking. I feel like to make that
That's common. That's common.
What I see home cooks do is they will temp, say, a chicken or something, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's 170," and then they'll pull their probe out and they go, "Well, I better put it back in the oven just to be safe," and they put that back in there. I've seen that, and then I go, "What are you doing?" They're like, "Oh, I don't know. I just got scared." It's done. It said it's 170. That shit's done.
Yeah, look at it. That blood is dead. Or the geoblin, whatever that stuff's called.
All right, let's wrap this thing up.
Yo, guys, it was
Mike.
very nice talking to you guys.
It was great having you.
We should just do a FaceTime together and just talk like this on the reg too.
For sure.
I would love it.
I would love that.
Just have some drinks together.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta get out to Charlotte. I gotta get to North Carolina.
Dude, we're going on a boys' trip to New Orleans, and you're coming.
There ain't a lot of us out there. There ain't a lot of Mexicans out there, are there?
No.
We got Mexicans out here.
No.
You got like Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and
Black
Guatemalans and shit.
We ain't got no
black
Mexicans.
Mexicans. You get them black Mexicans.
I'll introduce you to some Mexicans. I got some Mexicans out here.
Right, we got some Mexicans.
Tamales? Manulo?
No,
Pisole?
no, we hit
Stuff like
up
that.
the tamale lady up. We hit up the tamale lady for Christmas. We got you.
Kamala's everywhere this year.
Uh-huh.
I've seen her on every corner this year. Anyways, guys, great talking to you.
Thank you, Mike. Love you. Everybody, like, subscribe. Follow us on Whipped Cream Salmon at Gmail or write to us at gmail.com. Follow us on our socials at Whipped Cream Salmon Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Brian, any last words?
Stay creamy.
Stay creamy, y'all. Love you.
Peace.